On the wedding day, Marcus's secretary, Vanessa, stormed into the ceremony. She was wearing a pure white wedding dress, and with an arrogant smirk, she told me, "Marcus's true love is me. This multi-million-dollar wedding was meticulously prepared for me." Marcus put his arm around Vanessa, his face etched with disgust as he coldly sneered at me, "Grace, I've been sick of you for a long time. Now that the Shing family has become the wealthiest in the world, prominent families both domestically and internationally have to show us respect. You're no longer useful to us. Get lost. Don't ever bother me again." I ignored Vanessa's triumphant, mocking gaze and calmly told Marcus, "Before this dream ends, I'm giving you one last chance to choose. Choose me or choose her?" Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and let us know in the comments where you're listening from. My wedding with Marcus had invited many prominent figures from both home and abroad. A magnificent estate had been built on a private island in the Florida to host our ceremony. Before the wedding began, Marcus and his family members were enthusiastically entertaining the affluent and distinguished guests. Only I felt as though everyone was ignoring me. Even though I was in my wedding dress, one of the main figures of the day, the guests looked at me strangely, instinctively keeping their distance. This was mainly because Marcus and the Shing family were treating me unusually. Robert, Margaret, and the others looked at me with expressions of aversion and disdain, shying away from me as if I were a venomous snake. Marcus, on the other hand, completely disregarded my presence. I remained calm, standing like a statue on the wedding platform, gazing out at the distant ocean. No one knew what I was thinking at that moment. As fireworks lit up the sky, the wedding ceremony began. Just then, Marcus's secretary, Vanessa, stormed into the reception venue, also clad in a pure white wedding dress. Marcus, who was standing beside me, immediately went to meet her. They walked arm in arm, looking very affectionate. Vanessa, with an arrogant air, told me, "This multi-million-dollar wedding was prepared by Marcus for me. The woman he deeply loves has always been me. Grace, the only reason you were invited today was to humiliate you publicly. Your wedding dress and jewelry are cheap knockoffs, while my dress and accessories are designer brand. That alone should tell you who the real bride is today." Whilst words were hurtful, they were true. The combined value of my wedding dress and the jewelry I wore couldn't even compare to a single diamond on her gown. Vanessa's wedding dress and jewelry were among the world's finest, practically works of art. Especially the heart of the ocean diamond necklace she wore around her neck. Last year, a mysterious buyer acquired it at auction for an exorbitant price of $500 million, causing quite a stir in the news at the time. I hadn't expected that heart of the ocean diamond necklace to be on Vanessa's neck today. Ignoring taunts, I looked at Marcus and calmly said, "This is our wedding day. Are you really sure you want to play a joke like this on me? Make her leave now, and I can pretend none of this happened." No sooner had I finished speaking than Vanessa, her face full of mockery, said to me, "Grace, it's come to this, and you're still dreaming? Are you deaf? This wedding today was specially prepared for me by Marcus, and also to humiliate you. Ask any guest here, who doesn't know that I am Marcus's true bride today. Only you fool, are still in the dark. Do you really believe Marcus would arrange such a grand and magnificent wedding for you? Haven't you overestimated your standing in his heart?" Vanessa's mockery caused many of the guests present to look at me with schadenfreude and pity. Just as Vanessa had said, I was the only one kept in the dark about this wedding. To everyone present, I was a joke today. However, I remained calm, awaiting Marcus's response. Marcus seemed displeased with my calm demeanor. Not seeing me throw a dramatic outburst appeared to disappoint him. He put his arm around Vanessa, his face full of loathing, and told me, "Grace, I've been sick of you for a long time. It was only because you could help the Shing family make money that I stomached being with you. Now that the Shing family has become the wealthiest in the world, prominent families both domestically and internationally have to show us respect. You're no longer useful to us. Vanessa is the woman I truly love. She's already pregnant with my child. She's my destined wife, and her child will be the Shing family's next heir. Get lost. Don't ever bother me again." I looked at Vanessa, who deliberately puffed out her slightly swollen belly, giving me a smug, defiant smile. Too bad they had no idea that their child was destined never to be born. Chapter 2. Before I could respond to Marcus, the Shing family members started to coldly mock me. Margaret said to me with veiled sarcasm, "Grace, you've been with my son for so many years and never conceived. You must have some problem that prevents you from having children. The family is now the wealthiest in the world. If my son truly married you, wouldn't that mean the end of our family line?" Robert scoffed at me, "Considering you've helped the Shing family make money all these years, we'll give you a sum of money. Take this money and never bother the Xing family again. Marcus's sister, Brittany, said to me with a look of disdain, I've had enough of your bossiness. You're not even married to my brother yet, and you're already acting like my sister-in-law all the time. Have you no shame? You're humiliated today, aren't you? Now get lost, and stop embarrassing yourself and ruining our family's wedding. The family's words were truly harsh. They tossed a check at me as if they were shooing away a beggar. Years ago, the Xing family was a small, struggling business on the verge of bankruptcy. It was I who invested capital into Xing, helping it to rapidly expand and grow. Under my leadership, the Xing family joined the ranks of prominent families within just a few years. After that, I used a technology one developed myself to create a virtual reality immersive technology that astonished the entire world, allowing the Xing family to directly become the world's wealthiest through this innovation. However, recently, the Xing family used various tactics to quietly strip me of my shares in Xingshire and also took my patented technology. At that time, Marcus had feigned tenderness and told me, darling, we're about to become one family. What's mine is yours, why differentiate? The company needs to expand and will become increasingly busy. I can't bear to see you so overwhelmed. Just hand over your responsibilities to others in the company. From now on, you only need to relax comfortably at home and raise our children. Without hesitation, I transferred my shares and patents to Marcus. From then on, Marcus's attitude towards me changed. The family members, who had originally been fawning and ingratiating towards me, showed their true ugly colors after I transferred my shares in Xingshire and the technology patent to Marcus. Yet, none of this truly mattered to me. Ignoring the Xing family's mockery, I calmly said to Marcus, before this dream ends, I'm giving you one last chance to choose. Choose me, or choose her? Chapter 3. The moment I uttered those words, everyone present looked at me even more strangely. Many guests started whispering among themselves. Is mentally unstable? She must be so resentful that her emotions are on the verge of breaking down. Isn't it obvious who Marcus chose to be his wife? Grace has always been strong-willed. Today's wedding must have been a huge shock, making her spout nonsense, which is understandable. The family members, having completely dropped their pretense, scolded me, Grace, were you pretending to be foolish or are you genuinely stupid? Isn't the situation perfectly clear? Our son will never marry you. Give up that idea. You want to marry into the Xing family, you want to be my sister-in-law? In your next life. Vanessa gave me a scornful, disdainful smile and said, Grace, I know you're very unwilling to accept this. But this is reality, and you can't fight it. Blame yourself for being too foolish. If you hadn't transferred your shares and that patented technology to Marcus, maybe he would have had to grit his teeth and keep tolerating you. For years, Marcus and I have had enough of you. Otherwise, we wouldn't have chosen to publicly humiliate you at this grand wedding. If I were you, I'd take the money and slink away now. It's better than continuing to stay here and make a fool of yourself. Marcus, even more cruelly, said to me with disgust, Grace, I'll say this one last time, I have never truly loved you. When I agreed to be with you, it was only because I recognized your ability to help the Xing family expand and make money. Take the money and get lost. Don't let me see you again. I nodded and said calmly, all right, since you've made your choice, I'll grant it to you. With that, I turned to leave. Just then, Vanessa spoke up, her tone full of veiled sarcasm, wait. Pick up the check on the ground. If you don't take this money, you're disrespecting us. And also, we told you to roll out, not just walk away. Hearing this, the other Xing family members also sneered in agreement, clearly intending to completely humiliate me in front of everyone. Marcus even pulled out his phone, pointed it at me to record, and coldly said, now roll. I need to properly record this moment and share it on social media later, so everyone can see how utterly disgraced Grace, the so-called queen of investment, truly is. Chapter 4. I ignored them and turned, walking towards the ocean. Vanessa and the Xing family grew furious, shouting curses at me. In their eyes, I was being disrespectful. With a command from Marcus, the security guards in the reception venue immediately blocked my path. He coldly stated, Grace, don't push your luck. As long as you roll out, we absolutely won't make things difficult for you. If you insist on being as arrogant as before, you'll have to suffer the consequences. Don't think I'm joking. For years, you've controlled the Xing's power, and we've long been displeased with you. Today, we're just asking you to roll a few times on the ground. It's not like we're taking your life. You're getting off easy. Vanessa sneered at me, you've been kicked out of Xingshire. You no longer have any capital to be proud of. Just accept your fate. Back then, Marcus and I were just being intimate in the car, and when you found out, you made me write a self-criticism report at the company's morning meeting, completely humiliating me. I've been holding on to that grudge. Today, I must repay that in kind and utterly disgrace you. The entire Shung family also furiously denounced me, detailing all the harshness I had supposedly inflicted on them over the years. I remained indifferent to their attempts to slander me. Marcus impatiently told me, "Stop holding up our wedding here. If you don't want to roll out, we'll give you a hand." With that, Marcus signaled the security guards to act against me. Just then, I pulled out a pair of scissors I had prepared beforehand. Upon seeing the sharp scissors in my hand, the security guards reacted as if facing a formidable enemy, not daring to approach me. Vanessa sneered, "You think a pathetic pair of scissors can threaten us? Aren't you a bit too naive?" Marcus squinted at me, his voice chillingly cold. "Grace, how dare you bring scissors to the wedding? Put the scissors down, or you won't leave here alive." I calmly replied, "I never intended to keep living in this fabricated world anyway." As my words faded, I aimed the scissors at my chest and plunged them in. Cuz and the others were shocked, unable to comprehend why I would do such a thing. Vanessa, however, sneered, "Trying to self-harm to gain Marcus's pity? Grace, you must be dreaming." Her words trailed off, and she froze. Because, at that moment, my body was dematerializing, gradually dissolving like foam. Marcus and the others were startled, many instinctively gasping and screaming. I looked at Marcus and Vanessa, and calmly stated, "It's time for your dream to end. This virtual game, developed using my patented technology, should also come to an end. I'll be waiting for you in the real world." Chapter 5. In the real world, inside a massive laboratory. I stepped out of a nutrient pod, and a group of people immediately crowded around me, carefully helping me. With a mixture of nervousness and anticipation, they inquired, "Ms. Grace, has our virtual reality technology been successfully implemented? How is the game called Fortune's Favor performing? Ms. Grace, you've been in the nutrient pod for 3 days. According to the progress of our Fortune's Favor game, you've spent 3 years inside the game. Is there anything that needs improvement?" I took a deep breath, nodded at the anxious and expectant researchers, and smiled. "The virtual reality technology is highly successful. This Fortune's Favor game has almost no flaws. It can be launched and promoted now." As my words fell, the crowd erupted in excited cheers. I then looked at the other nutrient pods nearby, which were still sealed. The people inside seemed to still be immersed in that virtual reality game. Marcus and Vanessa, among others, were in those nutrient pods. I wondered if they would be able to accept certain realities of the real world once they woke up. For instance, the Xing family wasn't the wealthiest in the world. In reality, they had gone bankrupt and liquidated just recently. Also, the child in Vanessa's belly wasn't Marcus's, and that child had been miscarried in the car accident. And, most importantly, could Marcus and the others accept the fact that they had become disabled after the car accident? I was quite eager to see their expressions when they woke up to face the harsh reality. The chief researcher misunderstood, thinking I was concerned about Marcus and the others in the nutrient pods. He cautiously said, "Ms. Grace, it's already quite remarkable that they've been saved. If it weren't for the virtual reality technology you developed, which successfully created the Fortune's Favor game and maintained their brainwave activity, they would have been brain dead from that car accident long ago. Even if their bodies are incomplete, saving their lives is a great feat. They'll have nothing but gratitude for you, Ms. Grace, not a hint of resentment." I smiled, saying meaningfully, "Let's hope so. How much longer until they wake up?" No sooner had I finished speaking than, even before the chief researcher could respond, the indicator lights on those nutrient pods began to glow. As wisps of mist rose from within, the nutrient pod doors slowly opened. Marcus and the others inside the nutrient pods slowly opened their eyes. Perhaps still disoriented from the Fortune's Favor virtual reality game, they all stared blankly at their surroundings. The moment they saw me, Marcus and the others froze, then blurted out, "Grace, you're not dead. That's impossible. I clearly saw you kill yourself. How can you still be alive? Where is this place? Why do I feel so weak and my whole body aches? This can't be a dream, can it? This dream feels so real." To help them quickly snap back to reality, I directly slapped them across their faces. Slap after slap rang out. Red, swollen handprints quickly appeared on Marcus's and the others' faces, showing just how much force I had put into striking them. Although I had only been asleep for 3 days, I had spent a full 3 years inside the Fortune's Favor virtual reality game. During those 3 years, I remembered exactly how Marcus and the others had treated me, how they had deceived me like a fool, and how they had ultimately mocked and scorned me. Slapping them hard right then was a small way to vent the pent-up anger and frustration in my heart. Marcus and the others were stunned by my blows. Then, their faces contorted with rage, they cursed at me, even attempting to lunge out of their nutrient pods to attack me. However, in the next second, they realized something was wrong with themselves. Where are my hands? Why are my hands gone? Why are my legs missing? Why can't I move my entire body? What on earth is happening? This must be a dream, damn it, wake up. Marcus and the others' faces were red and swollen from my slaps, and they grimaced in pain, which already proved this was no dream. However, upon realizing their condition, they all terrifyingly wished it were a nightmare. Marcus's arms had been severed in that car accident, and his face bore several long scars, making him appear terrifyingly disfigured. Vanessa's legs had been amputated, and her once delicate features were completely ruined in the car accident, leaving her face terribly pitted and grotesque. The rest of the Xing family were even more tragically afflicted. Some suffered high-level paralysis, while others had spinal injuries, leaving only their heads movable. Now, all of them were invalids. Chapter 6. Seeing and the others screaming in terror and rage, unable to accept this reality, the laboratory researchers around me began speaking over each other, trying to console them. The only reason you're alive is thanks to Ms. Grace. Ms. Grace is your savior. If it weren't for the virtual reality technology developed by Ms. Grace, which created the Fortune's Favor game and kept your brainwaves active, you would have been brain dead long ago. A few physical impairments are nothing, at least your lives were saved. The lab researchers were highly capable, but their emotional intelligence was a weakness. Their words of comfort were undoubtedly like rubbing salt into Marcus and the others' wounds. Marcus, eyes bloodshot, roared in angry panic, I don't believe it. This can't be real. The family is the wealthiest in the world. The virtual reality technology patent belongs to us. We've never launched anything called Fortune's Favor. You're definitely lying to us. Vanessa also said, her voice filled with anxiety and panic, Grace, what kind of trick did you pull? Why are we like this? Did you use that virtual reality technology to put us all into a dream, like in the movie Inception? The family members quickly chimed in, that's right, it must be like that. This isn't real. All of this is fake. It's all Grace, that vixen's, doing. As long as we can escape from this nightmare, we'll definitely be fine. Damn vixen, don't think you can scare us with such petty tricks. With that, they quickly closed their eyes, hoping to return to what they believed was reality as soon as possible. I understood that they wouldn't immediately adapt to this cruel reality. I calmly stated, you've been in the Fortune's Favor virtual reality game for too long, and your perceptions have become greatly distorted. Let me help you recall. On the eve of my engagement to Marcus, he brought Vanessa to the Xing family estate. Vanessa was pregnant, and you all accepted her, intending for her child to become the next heir of the Xing family. You feared I would find out, so you planned to send Vanessa abroad for a while and bring them, mother and child, back after her baby was born. However, on your way to the airport to send Vanessa off, a severe car accident occurred, leaving all of you critically injured and on the verge of death. It was I who saved your lives. The child in Vanessa's belly was also lost due to that car accident. Although your bodies bear various impairments, your lives were saved, and you should be content with that. I wanted to see how you were doing in Fortune's Favor. 3 days ago, I entered the game. The time in the game and reality are different. 1 day in the real world equals 1 year in the game world. Over those 3 years in the game, I elevated the Xing family to the position of the world's wealthiest. To me, it was just a game, but you were deeply entangled in it. You treated everything in the game as reality. As the Xing family's status in the game gradually reached its peak, your attitudes towards me slowly changed, even to the point where you shamelessly humiliated me publicly. In the real world, you are skilled at pretense, but when you were completely immersed in that virtual reality game, your true natures were revealed without inhibition. You were all blinded by the fame and fortune in the game. Did you never realize that during the 3 years I spent with you in the game, I didn't care about any of it? You didn't even question how the Xing family became the wealthiest in the game's world. Is it possible to reach the pinnacle of global wealth with just one virtual reality technology? My words were too much for Marcus and the others to process. They couldn't accept it all at once, and furiously roared that I was deceiving them. I couldn't be bothered to discuss this with them any further. I told the chief researcher beside me, they've been in the Fortune's Favor game for too long, and their real-world memories have been suppressed. Find a way to help them regain those memories. The chief researcher quickly nodded and said, that car accident was too severe, they should have been brain dead. It was you, Ms. Grace, who forcibly brought them back. After they entered the fortune's favored game, their body's innate self-preservation kicked in, instinctively suppressing memories of their real-world injuries and pain. They didn't truly forget. With some guidance over time, they can regain their past memories. That's not difficult at all. Seeing and the others furious, contorted faces as they cursed, I.S. Mild and told the chief researcher, then help them regain their memories as soon as possible. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what state they'll be in once their real-world memories return. The best revenge is psychological. I've never been a saint or a pushover. For those who betray me, I will never show the slightest mercy. Chapter 7. A month later, Marcus and the others' past memories resurfaced. In fortune's favor, Marcus and his family were the wealthiest in the world, wielding immense influence, with prominent families both domestically and internationally bowing before them. In the game, they were high above everyone, like deities looking down upon mortals, a feeling that made them believe they were the masters of the world. However, in reality, they were merely a small family surviving only through my charity. If I was a towering tree, Marcus and his family were like parasitic daughter plants. Without me, they would perish. The family's company had a market value of less than 10 million. Operating under my company's umbrella, I held absolute controlling interest in Sheng. After and the others' car accident, I immediately bankrupted Sheng. Now, all of the Sheng family's assets have been auctioned off, they are truly penniless. When and the others regained their past memories and learned of the Sheng family's current situation, they collapsed. Robert and Margaret desperately cried out to me, Grace, we know we were wrong. Please, help us. You're so wealthy, you can definitely help us restore our disabled bodies, right? As long as you can help us return to normal, we'll listen to whatever you say from now on. We'll absolutely follow your lead. Marcus and Vanessa were just a charade. The one he deeply loves has always been you. The family's daughter-in-law can only be you, we don't recognize any other woman. Brittany also pleaded with me, sister-in-law, please help me. I don't want to lie in bed like a vegetative state for the rest of my life. It was I who was misled and enchanted by that vixen, Vanessa, which is why I said those hurtful things to you. That vixen can't even compare to you, please. Marcus also urgently said to me, darling, you definitely have a way to make us normal again, right? You own so many businesses, many of which are related to medical fields. Our whole family is depending on you. I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. Once I'm back to normal, we'll get married. That vixen, Vanessa, lured me away before, but now I'm clear-headed. I'll never be swayed by anyone else again. From now on, I'll only listen to you. The family members pleaded with me, pushing all the blame onto Vanessa. Vanessa also knew I wouldn't forgive her. She didn't beg, but instead glared at Marcus and the others with bloodshot eyes, roaring, you're all scum. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let any of you off the hook. Vanessa wanted to lunge at Marcus and the others and fight them to the death, but with her legs amputated, she was immobile, leaving her to rage helplessly, her face contorted in fury. Watching them tearing each other apart, I felt a surge of satisfaction. I said to Marcus and the others, do you really think I'll still help ungrateful wretches like you? When the Shing family was struggling financially back then, if it weren't for my help, your entire family would have been begging on the streets. And how did you treat me in return? I have nothing more to say. Get out. I don't ever want to see any of you again. Before they could plead again, I had them thrown out onto the street. Later that very night, Vanessa's body was discovered in a ditch by the roadside. Her eyes were wide open in death, her face etched with resentment and unwillingness, her cause of death determined as drowning. With both legs amputated and her entire face disfigured, she had lost the will to live and could only end her life in this manner. A few days later, Marcus's family was found to have committed suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning in their old family estate. All four of them were together, and before their deaths, they all showed expressions of regret. I handled their funeral arrangements and stood silently before their graves. After a long while, the mountain wind gently brushed past, and I sighed deeply. I spoke to Marcus and the others' graves. That car accident, I arranged it. I told you before, those who betray me will not have a good end. Clearly, you took my warnings lightly, so you could only swallow this bitter pill yourselves. If you feel resentment and unwillingness, then wait for me on the other side. I'll come find you in a few decades. With those words, I turned and left. The mountain wind seemed to grow stronger, its wailing sound like the crying of Marcus and the others' departed souls. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your views, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.